Wow. Unbelievable, huh? I'm 50 years old. I've been in the markets, invested in the market, watching it since I was like 15 years old. I've seen booms, I've seen busts, many. This is the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. I mean, unbelievable on many levels. I wasn't even planning on making a video. I just feel like there's so much going on, and some of you follow me and you want. So, listen, I'm going to try to give some pieces of advice. First of all, I got to say, my portfolio, my overall portfolio, I sold a house recently, partly luck, partly whatever. I don't know. I got 50% cash. And then my crypto, I sold almost all my Bitcoin for dollars, took it out of crypto and kept it in dollars in January. And then my crypto fund, I have 20% in dollars. So listen, I am not here to gloat. My point is, so what do you do here? Depends on where you are, right? So for me, I'm not selling. I have a lot of cash. It's sort of what I'm waiting for. I mean, I'm not waiting. I'm not happy. I didn't expect this. And I still don't know what the fuck to do. We're surfing here. If you're riding this wave and you haven't been smashed yet, I'm riding the wave, but that thing still may fall on my head. So, whatever. But I have cash. So if you don't have cash, now what do you fucking do? Well, not a good time to raise cash. This is more, so what we have here is coronavirus, which creates a business recession because everything stops, which has now pricked the financial bubble, and we have a financial crisis. The dot-com bubble was a business crisis, tech business crisis, and that's all it was, and it was a pretty big deal. 2008 was a housing issue, but mostly it was just a financial crisis. Financial crisis, but that's all it was. Now we have a business crisis that's bigger than the dot-com bust, and we have a financial crisis. U.S. Treasury market is not even functioning properly. That's the base layer of the financial system, not functioning properly. The Federal Reserve, they had to print $4 trillion and gave it to the banks to keep the shit running in 2008. How much do you think they're going to have to print this time? I don't know. Probably 12 to 20 trillion. They've already printed about 3. I think they printed almost 2 today, and they were already, since September. This started in September, mind you. Remember, coronavirus is just a pin that fucking just popped that bubble. But the bubble was already deflating. So, if you don't have cash, maybe there's a bounce, but this is not over. So if there's a bounce and you need cash, there's a few more months and we're probably going lower. So I would take some cash. There might not be no bounce, and I don't know what to tell you. Thank God I'm not in that situation, but I've been there. I get it. 2008, fucking falling over my skis, selling at the worst time. I fucked it up. Learned a lot. I did good in the dot-com bubble. Not as good as I could have been, but so far this one, okay, whatever. Listen, let's get back. What do we do? Here's one thing you can do, though. If you're owning, and I like the term digital assets, decentralized digital assets, better than crypto. So let me try to. If you own decentralized digital assets, I bet you have too much Bitcoin. Why? Because everybody does. Well, and some of you don't. Some of you messaged me. I agree with you, Dave. Ethereum. I talked about this a while ago. But if you own mostly Bitcoin, now is the time. I'm going to talk about, there's a couple opportunities here. Big time. I'm going to talk to you about OX and Kyber. These things, we got some serious, awesome fucking fundamentals that I'm going to show you. So if you trade Bitcoin against, there's other things you want to get in. Zcash. The only things, so Ethereum, I love long-term, absolutely. I don't have any fear about Ethereum. Ethereum is killing it. Bitcoin's got serious problems because its monetary policy is not a security system that you can prove with math. It's like, oh, whatever, we'll just make enough money. The miners will make enough to pay for security. It'll just work. No, Ethereum's monetary policy is based on math. It's not implemented yet, okay? So there's a risk factor there. But I think it's going to work. It's going to be implemented. I believe it's going to work where they issue to pay the computers a minimum amount. Might only be 0.5% or 1%. And then every transaction burns it. It's a security issuance system that is awesome. Ethereum will have lower issuance rate than Bitcoin within a couple years. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's miners are screwed, right? They were already underwater. They were counting on the halvening doubling the price. Turns out the halvening halved the price, and it's still going down. All the miners are underwater. What the fuck are they doing? I'm worried about Bitcoin. You know, it survives. I don't like to talk about the term survival, but being a leader, big trouble, I think, in the long run. But anyway, so I think if you're into decentralized digital assets, Ethereum is more decentralized, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you find an opportunity early here. Kyber OX. Should I do that now? I also, before I do that, because this gets wonky, okay? For those of you, you know, some people get bored with me once I stop carrying on. I'll get to that, but also let me talk about overall portfolio, what's going on. You know what I listen. I'm digital asset guy, digital asset Dave. Stocks, I'm not a picker, but what I do pick, I'll tell you what I like. Berkshire Hathaway. You know why? Warren Buffett's a fucking genius. He's the best at picking stocks. So if I want to get stocks, I'll have the best picker. And boy, is he in good shape right now. He had 130 billion in cash before this mess started. And who's better at picking over the carcasses than this is how he's made his living. He's got the most cash, and he's the best at making deals and finding shit to buy now. Boy, are they going to eat up. And it's going down with everything. I don't know that today, I didn't buy any today. I haven't bought any. You know, I hold what I have, but I haven't bought any new yet. Because I think these things, I mean, this is a bit of a bloodbath right now, and I think it's going to take time. But if you have some cash, you want to be diversified. I love Berkshire also. Oh, he hates Bitcoin, or he doesn't understand crypto. Great. That's a diversification. He buys everything I don't buy. He buys, you know what I mean? But he's not dumb. This is I love Berkshire, and I'm going to back up the truck on this thing at some point. You know, Tesla I love. It's still gone up a lot. Now, my Tesla is a big position for me. I mean, the thing's up 100% since the beginning of the year. I'm way up or I don't know, about since January, maybe only 50%. It's gone up a lot, but I love it long term. If this thing goes into the pooper, I would certainly buy more. And I love this genomics fund. And that, I think, genomics is going to really boom. They're already genomics. If you look at what's going on, why am I talking about stocks? We're a crypto thing. I think it's because, I don't know. Listen, I didn't have a plan for this video. Did I mention to you, because I had to redo my video. Now I don't remember what I said in my last one. I haven't been making videos because I'm trying to figure out what I'm rebranding. Let me give away the secret. Okay, I'm creating a fund. The decentralized digital asset, which I call the DDA DeFi fund. DeFi is where Ethereum is the platform. I'm open to other platforms, but at this point, it's like Ethereum's so far ahead. So Ethereum is the platform for decentralized finance, and on top of Ethereum, all of these applications are being built that are all like money Legos that can all be switched and put together. And it's investing in that area where I think the most excitement is going to come, and that's why I'm going to talk about here. I'm going to dig into some of the numbers here, Kyber and OX. So I'm working on having a fund, and I'm trying to figure out, before I start making videos, I want to figure out what's the overall plan. And also, if I have a fund, there may be some legality, like I can't advertise it, right? So I don't want to make sure what I can say, what I can't, and figure out what my whole sort of communication strategy is. And I've been spending a lot of time working on it. It's not going to be ready for a couple months. So that's sort of why I've sort of disappeared off social media and even YouTube videos. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with all that. What else would people be asking? You know, let me also mention, about coronavirus. Well, even before I get to that, I got to say, one of the main reasons I've done well, right, is knowledge. Okay, obviously. But one of the things you can do, if you want to copy, this has been my Twitter feed, not me. I'm not telling you to follow me on Twitter. I mean, please follow me. I don't post very often. I'd love to have you follow me, but that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is look at who I follow. I think I follow 70 people. A lot of them never tweet. Have your thing set that you only read things that these people post. I don't have top tweets where, the people you follow liked this. I don't want any of that bullshit. I only want to hear, I follow 70 people, and I only want to hear what they said. And that's all I read. And it's fucking never lets me down. Because these people are all geniuses. You know why I knew about coronavirus in December? You know why I knew, and why was I, preparing in January for this shit? Because of my Twitter feed. I got this one woman, Dovey Wan, she lives part-time China and San Francisco. Her parents are doctors in China, and in December she's like, there's rumors that there's a new virus. It's like SARS, but it's catchy. And then, and then I started watching this thing and seeing it grow. And then I knew what was coming to America. Most people in the U.S., if you follow the news, you just found out today what I knew 2 months ago. And you would have known if you were following who I follow. I do update it. I did start following a few new people for coronavirus. But mostly it stays steady. Okay. Coronavirus. The issue is, and just everybody, the issue is hospitals, not fatality. Okay? People are like, only 1% die. Oh, I'm safe. Yeah, we know that. That's not the problem. Problem is, in general, like 10% of people need to go to the hospital. And if we don't have a good system for testing, people are just going there for tests, and it's just clogging up the hospital. And then what happened in the disaster that happens, and what happened in Italy and in Wuhan, Iran just said, fuck it, you die if you die. I don't know what's going on there. But what happens is the hospital is like, well, we have no more beds. Someone's like, I can't breathe right now because I have this situation. And they're like, I'm sorry, you have to die. Like, literally, that's what's happening. That's the problem. So it spreads so fast that everybody gets it at the same time, and so many people need hospitalization that the hospitals get clogged up. That's why we need to stop more people getting infected. You're like, well, not that many people have it in the U.S. It takes 2 weeks from when you get it till you see the things. So, and then you spread it to 3 or 4 more people, unless, everybody stays inside. So, right now, hospitals are like, oh shit. Next week, they're like, oh no. And the next week, we're like, fuck. So, and if that's why everything's closed, okay? And just stay in. If you get it, keep in mind, it's not a big fatality thing. Most of you watching this, you're young. Hopefully you're in shape a little bit. One thing people don't realize, when you get a virus, your body temperature goes up to 103 and change. You know why? To kill the virus. It's a natural defense. Let your fever go and fucking run with it. Burn that shit. Drink water. Have an orange. Don't take a bunch of fever reducers. And now, if you go over 104, there's other shit going on. You have problems. You do have to reduce your fever. That's another story. You watch it. You'll feel that. You know what I mean? Don't worry. You can go to sleep with 103. You'll wake up if it goes over. You'll be like, fuck. So, hopefully you don't need the hospital. Don't go to the hospital. Okay? The other thing, the metric to watch is testing. The U.S. has got to be having super efficient testing, everybody, and we have been a disaster. The CDC has fucked this up beyond, and there's still a bunch of morons. Hopefully, you got Amazon now is talking to Bill Gates. Hopefully Silicon Valley does what they like to do and just say, fuck the government and do everything anyway, screw regulations. And, later maybe they get a slap on the wrist for doing something awesome. I think now that everybody gets it, it's all about testing. It's actually going to happen, and there's going to be testing. once we have testing and we've got this social distancing, I think this thing calms down. But that's what's happening. Let's dig into Kyber for a second. Can I show you what's going on with this thing? And again, I'm not talking about pricing. We're talking about fundamentals. What is happening? Okay, so you can go here. This is their volume. Let's move this. Okay. Last 24 hours, look at this shit. $2 million in transactions per hour. Okay. 7 days ago, look at where we were. And this was huge. I was like, we've been growing like a weed. Over a month, it looks like. So something like 5 million a day has been the average. But look at the growth. Okay. We were, this is a year ago. 400, let's say 5 to 1 million a day. Today, 27 million. But even if we go over here recently, this 5 million number from a year ago, that's 1,000% growth. And I looked at all time, Kyber's been growing at 1,000% per year. We can measure it. We can see it. I'm not making this shit up, and I'm not reading a white paper and predicting some shit. I'm looking at a fucking chart here. We're growing at 100% a year. In retrospect, are we going to keep growing? I don't know. Looking pretty good now. Apparently, turmoil in legacy markets is good for Kyber's volume. Now, it can fall off a cliff, right? Look at, you got to watch this stuff, because I remember I was looking at Kyber back here. July. And now, keep in mind, this looks small because of where the graph is now. But back here, right, it went from, let's say, 400,000 to, it was a 10x jump from here to here. Wait, how can this be 10x? And that's only 10x. There's this 100x. 27 million from 1. Oh, that's it. This is 20x, right? Okay, listen, I'm doing the numbers offhand here. Bottom line is, this looked really big and volume was amazing, and then it fell off, right? And then that changes the equation. So you got to watch it. But the trend is our friend here with Kyber ever since, around September. You know what? Ever since the financial market problems started in September, not with coronavirus, right? The Fed started having to bail out the repo operations. This was in September. The Fed started printing again, and you could even say it started January 2018 when the Fed capitulated on interest rates. I don't know, but bottom line is Kyber's been doing well. So let's give a valuation, a real valuation to the token, okay? So first of all, what volume are we going to use? This volume is so volatile. What number makes sense? If you go to this, it looks like, so this is like 5 million a day. So let's just say 5 million a day. Now watch this. So let's say Kyber does 5 million. And please check my math. I may make an error here. Okay? 5 million a day times 365. That means they do trading volume of 1.8 billion. They're going to, now this hasn't launched yet, by the way, their new system where they're going to pay to the token fees as well as burning tokens. And for the sake of keeping this simple, let's just pretend it's all like paying a fee like a dividend. And they're going to pay not in KNC. Watch out for these things that pay in their own token. Paying in Ethereum or DAI, I'm not even sure, whatever. They're going to pay 0.025%, a 0.25% of this. So times 0.0025. That means that if they do that volume and they take their fees, they are going to pay to the token $4.5 million in value, right? Whether it's coins or burning, we'll just call it value. 4.5 million. So what is, and the token total market cap today is 51 million. So that means 4 or 5, whatever, divided by what did I just say it was? 51 million divided by 51 million equals, that's a dividend of 9%. And keep in mind, you think, oh, well, that's pretty good because, whatever, Microsoft pays 4%. 3%. I don't know what the hell Microsoft pays. Whatever. Some stock company pays 3%. That's pretty good. Well, you know what? Actually, I just thought of something. Well, let me finish my point, which was they pay that, but Microsoft's not growing 1,000% a year, right? This is, you can almost look at it as a PE ratio, right? It's like that's the earnings. But on a company that grows 1,000% a year, you take a higher PE on something that's growing fast. So these numbers to me are off the chart awesome. Now, OX also has a system, which honestly I can barely understand. If you go to my Twitter, I just posted a question. See if someone from OX can explain to me how to run the numbers. But fuck it, I don't need to run the numbers. I staked a few tokens, and I'll see what I earn. And I run the numbers, and I ran, and my dividend rate on what I had from the last 10 days. It looks like it's paying, that's like 1% a year. But still, I think that's pretty good. Maybe it's not Kyber good, but it's good. And Kyber, hey, whatever. I think these are good places to be. What was I going to say? Shoot. I was going to say something else about this Kyber analysis. I don't know. With these things, it's good to experiment. So, like, Ren is another one that's coming out. So, like I said, so here's the thing. You want to experiment with this? Don't put all your money into OX. Put a teeny bit in. Stake it. And the staking is not the easiest to understand. Look at your earnings. Look at how much it's making. Does it look like it's worth it? What's going on? And it's working out, and you got a good return, and it's like, okay, then you buy more, right? As opposed to, like I said, I never liked in 2017 everyone buying because of the dream. We're not buying because of the dream. We're buying because real shit is happening today that works, that makes sense. Okay, I also like Zcash. No metrics on it. It's just Zcash appears to be the leading privacy token. Privacy features are coming to Ethereum, but a lot of liquidity for Zcash is being added to be integrated with these privacy features on Ethereum. I think that there's a space for Zcash sort of in the medium term. I don't know if it's going to make it 5 years, but I like it and I'm watching it. I think there's something you can, and listen, it's down a lot. It was shooting up a lot. Now it's back down. Other than those three, Stellar, listen, I get the same story long term, but this thing is going nowhere in the short term. Like maybe in 2 or 3 years from now, I'm like, okay, now it's killing it. Let's get back in. I don't have much hope for it. Binance, I don't mind, but it's like I can only buy it if I'm in Binance. I have a number of reasons. Like I said, with my fund, I'm focused on Ethereum DeFi. That's where all the action is. That's where I want to be investing. Watch out. These two, do staking and they pay in their own token. Those went to hell. Hex is funny. Wouldn't buy it. What else? Oh, Maker. Yeah. How could I forget? I sold this all, thank God. Problem with Maker, and I believe in Maker's having a lot of problems today. I'll talk about that in a second, but let me just tell you why. Maker, so look at the MKR token. How much value accrues to that token with the interest? You run the numbers on that, and it's 0.000000, right? If Kyber's 9% and OX is 1%, Maker is 0.000001% or some crazy. It's like nothing. There's no value being accrued to the token. Now, the other thing I said, but I like DAI. Lock DAI up and earn 8% interest. That's where I was keeping all my cash. Now today, so DAI, holy crap, this is like, so first of all, let me just say, multiple times, I've been like, MakerDAO, it's gonna fucking crash. It's not gonna work. And then it works, and they're smart, and like, I feel now, I've been through enough insanities that like, I think dye and maker dye will survive. But they're going through a bit of a crisis right now. Right now, there's not enough dye. So the prices, look at the hot price here. They're gonna, I don't know what they're gonna do. They'll do something. They'll bring it in line. And look at this. So I was earning 8% with my dye locked up, but now people need dye. Look at this. Like, people paying 20, what's this? 55% interest rate for dye. That's not normal. That's a problem. Like, I like locking up dye. You earn interest on some safe thing. 8% was a lot. When the interest rate is 50%, that means something's broken. A dye is not a speculative asset. So they had issues with liquidations. There was a problem. Someone got ETH collateral, like liquidated it. It cost zero. Like, there's problems to the point going on right now that I don't even know what they are. People are going to figure it out. It'll probably, work itself out. In a few days, there'll be a lot of great Medium papers explaining it all. I'll read it. I'll understand it. We'll all be wiser. But right now, so then dye. I got into forget about dye earning interest. Now go into USC. That's a 7% gain. Took all my cash, move it into USDC. Made 7% trading, what do you call it? Dollar peg token, a dollar peg token. Crazy shit going on here. But you got to be on top of this stuff. This is something else. For those of you, you thought you saw it all until today, huh? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, this is the month. I thought that was fucking hourly. It's still going up. This is unbelievable. What else can I tell you? Hey, listen. I made this, like I said, I'm not really planning to make videos now. I didn't even prepare for this. But I want to help anybody if you have questions. And I'm sorry if I'm gloating. I'm sorry that I do. I have an issue with, telling people, you're stupid. I'm like, how can you do that? I get mad. Whatever. I apologize. No hard feelings. I'm literally I do want to help people. And I enjoy it. Sometimes my shit talking and saying, you're stupid, it's fun for me. Okay? So, if you have questions, put them in the comments. Some people even message me directly. I prefer comments, and, maybe it helps other people because everybody can see. But I'll answer any questions. I want to help, like I said. I do like shit talking. And what a funny thing, in closing, this is a funny story because it's like, as soon as this shit started happening, I don't know what list I'm on, I get a phone call literally every 2 hours. Someone wants to, they want to, they have a loan available for me. It's like somebody from India. You want to borrow money. And it was driving me fucking crazy. So I came up with something that I love, and now I enjoy getting the phone call. So I pick up the phone, and I always know who it is. I pick up the phone, I'm like, you got my money? And they're like, yeah, we got money. You got it? You got the money. Okay. He's like, yeah, you want to get some money? I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I got a trash bag out front. You believe I need 20s. And you leave. And they're like, what? I said, I want it in 20s. They're like, what are you talking about? The cash. And they're like, no, well, we do bank to bank. I said, no, listen. And I'll leave the shit. I got a guy. And he'll leave his stuff on the other side of the street. I try to do it for as long as possible. It's a lot of fun. And then they get mad at me. But, whatever. Listen, it's tough times. We got to be creative now to have fun. So I don't know what to tell you. Good luck. Let me know what you're doing. And let me know if I can help. Thank you.